Shot Caller. What can I say about this movie? I was really looking forward to watching it because I like Brawl in Cell Block 99, and this always comes up when people talk about that Vince Vaughn movie because it came out the same year, and it's also a prison movie, and it's supposedly very gritty and down and dirty and realistic sort of thing compared to Brawl in Cell Block 99, which is a bit more cartoonish and, you know, not as realistic. It's going a bit more for a over-the-top sort of aspect to it, rather than Shot Caller, which is supposed to be more with the realism and how authentic it is with the prison experience that it shows. So I was very looking forward to watching this movie. And I like the guy who plays Jaime Lannister, Nikolaj Waldau, however you say his bloody name. Terrible with European names. And so I was very much looking forward to it, and the trailer looked fantastic. You know, it's about an ordinary sort of white-collar guy who, you know, has an unfortunate accident in his car, and he was drinking at the time, so he goes to jail. And it's about how he gets institutionalized in prison, and how, you know, he goes from a man without a criminal background whatsoever to becoming quite adept at defending himself, and sort of being a bit of a head honcho amongst the gang members and the gangbangers in the lockhouse. So it had all the aspects of a good movie. But I tell you what, I was a bit disappointed in it, to be honest. I know I beat it around the bush a lot before saying that, but I was a little bit disappointed because I feel like the film, spoiler alert, I feel like it portrayed him rising from a nobody, low-level, nothing guy in the gang that he was affiliated with in prison to pretty much being the head honcho, the shot caller himself of the gang. It just jumped to that too quickly. We've got one scene, the yard brawl, where he defended the Hispanic gang leader. And from that, we jump forward, a big jump in time, several months at least, because his beard grew really long. And he's all of a sudden, he's pretty much running the show. And I just felt like that was too quick a jump. I would have liked to see a few more scenes in between showing how he proved himself to these gang members who had no respect for him whatsoever to begin with. You know, aside from the fact that he defended himself against a black guy who tried starting shit with him. No one really respected him. He was just a nobody. And then now they're all in fear of him and paying respect to him. Like, I wanted to see the full transformation into that kind of a person from who he was at the beginning of the movie. So I feel like the movie didn't adequately portray his transformation. It fast forwarded it too much. The movie could have done with, I rarely say this, but you know, the movie could have done with a bit more time, or a bit less time wasted on scenes that I feel, personally, in my own opinion, were not needed. I would have preferred the movie to stay mostly inside the prison, but there was a lot of the movie that was set outside of prison, and him trying to, you know, set up this big deal operation with the cartels on the outside of prison. I would have liked a lot less of that and more showing him in the prison and his transformation, his institutionalization, as they, you know, tried to portray in the movie. I would have liked to see more of that. But instead, they wasted too much time on the outside and jumped way too quickly from him being a nobody to being the shot caller. That's just my opinion. Also, I feel like there were way too many really, really phony-looking moustaches in this movie. I mean, for a movie with a decent budget, I mean, it wasn't a nothing budget to get actors like Jon Bernthal and, you know, Jaime Lannister, who's a hot property now because of Game of Thrones. You got to have a decent enough budget that you can have realistic-looking moustaches, but these were the worst, especially Benjamin Bratt's moustache looked so phony and so bad. It was this big, giant, thick slug on his upper lip. It looked ridiculous. And even Jaime Lannister's moustache, I'm saying that because his character wasn't memorable enough for me to remember the name. Unlike Vince Vaughn in Brawl, in Cell Block 99, Bradley Thomas, I remember his character. See? And I haven't seen that movie for years. I saw Shock Caller like a week ago, and I can't remember the character's name. Harlan. I think something Harlan. Anyway, Harlan Lannister's bloody... his bloody moustache, his handlebars moustache looked ridiculous. His longer beard looked real and all that. That was fine. But his handlebars moustache looked really fake. It just looked glued on. They didn't trim it right around the lips and that. It was taking me out of the movie because there were so many close-up shots right on his moustache. And Benjamin Bratt was like center camera in his scenes with his really phony plastic-looking moustache as well. So that for me, the downsides are he moved too fast in his character development from inmate to shock caller. I feel like it had too many scenes on the outside that I didn't find that compelling or interesting on the outside of prison. And the moustaches were way too phony. They're the three gripes I have with the movie. And the dialogue wasn't memorable either, unlike Brawl in Cell Block 99, which has some real doozies of lines in that movie. But yeah, I just felt that the dialogue just wasn't memorable compared to that film. And some of the positives are, I feel like Jamie Lannister, Harlan, whatever his name is, I feel like his acting was pretty good for the script that he got. I felt some of the scenes were pretty heartfelt with him and his son, although it was pissing me off the way he was just pushing his family away. He didn't need to do that. You know, you can still have a relationship with your son. I guess, he didn't want his son to have any connections with the criminal underworld. Well, then why doesn't he just stop being part of the criminal underworld? I guess he felt like he was too far in, and if he tried to get out, they would probably threaten his family like they did. All right, and that's the other aspect I liked about it. I liked the fact that he was willing to get himself thrown back into prison just so he could orchestrate the murder of that scumbag leader of the White Gang, because the guy threatened his family, and that was a line too far that he could not forgive or let go. I like that. I like that he was willing to go that far to protect his family. That part was cool. And I also thought John Bernthal's character performance was good, but he's great in everything he's in. That guy's got so much intensity. I love seeing him in movies. He's great in the Punisher series. Even though I haven't watched the whole series, just watch the fight clips from that on YouTube. Fantastic. He's so good in it. He's good in everything that I've seen him in. He's just a great character actor. And he does really good playing tough guys and in sort of gritty roles. So he was great in it, as usual. And yeah, that's about the only positive things I can say. Some of the cinematography was appealing to the eye a little bit, but it had nothing on Brawl in Cell Block 99, unfortunately. So as being the two main prison movies that came out in 2017, and they're often compared with each other, maybe Shock Caller is the more accurate film. I have on good authority from someone who works in the correctional services that parts of this movie, Shock Caller, were pretty accurate compared to what that person has seen and experienced. But for me, I found the over-the-top movie with the slow burn and the memorable dialogue, being Brawl in Cell Block 99, to be way more entertaining. Even though it's a slower and longer movie, I found that to be way more entertaining and way more memorable, and I enjoyed it a lot more than Shock Caller. But hey, that's just my opinion. So if you agree with me or you disagree, let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. Take care, be good, and I'll see you later.